Hi guys, welcome to Juicy Reddit Stories. I'm your host Stoopjuicy. If you're new here, please like, comment, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you are a returning customer, how are you? I hope you're well. You look great. Yeah, I love what you've done with the hair. Um, Today's theme is going to be entitled people. Nothing grinds my gears more than entitlement and expectations. And I notice that a lot of times with the holidays and things like that, we're seeing a lot of entitlement and expectations, both deep rooted and also surface level, rear their ugly head. And I can't wait to scream into this microphone on the internet today. So, yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right in. Let's see what we got. And also, please sound off. I want to hear your juicy thoughts and your juicy hot takes down below. I want to hear what you have to say as well. So let's get hot and heavy. Let's jump right in. Okay, so the first Reddit story is titled Entitled Thanksgiving Guest Wants to Come By the Day After and Get Some of the Leftovers. This is from r/entitled people. Okay, so I'm immediately mad. Don't come to my house unannounced or uninvited, but that's aside the point. Let's just jump into it. So, OP says, usually my husband and I travel for Thanksgiving, but this year there was a concert the day after Thanksgiving that we wanted to attend, so we stayed home and hosted a small Thanksgiving dinner for friends and family, 8 people total. I extended an invite to my cousin, Janice, female 44, whom I rarely see or speak to even though she lives less than 30 minutes away. Janice came. She arrived less than 5 minutes before I told her we were going to eat, and she left before we even had pie. Oh my God, do you see the cat back there trying to get out? So she left after or before we even had pie. She was on her phone during the blessing, and most of the time she was there. Oh, okay, I see. She was on her phone during the blessing, and most of the time she was there. When she announced that she was leaving, I asked if she wanted to take home a take-home meal because I was going to have plenty of leftovers. She said, "No, not now. I'm going home and I'm going to meet with a friend at the movie theater." I thought this was a little bit rude, but I didn't say anything, and she left without really saying goodbye to anyone. Friday late afternoon / evening, early evening, my husband and I are heading out to the concert, and my phone rings. It's Janice. She wants to swing by the house and get some leftovers from the Thanksgiving dinner. I was totally gobsmacked. I told her, no, we were already heading out to the concert and we were not home. She literally asked if we could come back so she could get some leftovers. And she was miffed when I said, no, we are not turning around now. So she could just get some leftovers. I told her if she wanted some leftovers, she should have taken them when they were offered. I have not heard anything from any of their family members, but I am sure I will at least hear from her mother, my aunt. But most of my family, including my aunt, already know that Janice has never been known for her manners. Also, I will not be inviting Janice back to any other events that I host. Oh, Janice, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy. Imagine being like, now I want my leftovers. So now that I'm not hanging out with my friends and doing my thing, 44 years old, by the way, and then being like, okie dokie, it's time for leftovers now. Your jaw, my fist, plus the floor. We would throw hands, I fear. Top comment says, looks like Janice just got herself blacklisted. Yes. The way blacklisted, blocked, blasted all over social media, the 3 Bs, right? For me, that's crazy. And I'm surprised that this person handled it so well, considering that she was rude to her. When she was leaving the Thanksgiving dinner, was on her phone, didn't even pay attention during blessing. I'm not religious, but we pay attention during blessing. We're respectful in this house. And yeah, dude, that's crazy. Entitled people make me crazy. Janice, I wish you the best girlfriend. I hope you really had a good time with your friend out. But you gotta learn some manners. At your grown age of 44, my friend, let's take it up a notch. Let's read a book. Let's watch a YouTube video. Let's learn about life and all the things that are important and respectful and polite. And let's get it together, girl. That's all I have to say. So, on to the next one. So this one is titled, Am I the a-hole for wanting my house in peace back after letting my mother-in-law stay temporarily? Right, right. Air quotes on temporarily. Okie dokie. I honestly can't tell if my feelings are completely valid or if it's just the postpartum hormones, but I need to vent and get this off my chest. I had my baby on September 9th, and a few weeks before that, my husband's mom's lease was up. She didn't have the money to renew it, so we told her she could just stay with us temporarily. In my mind, I figured she'd stay maybe a month, just enough time to save up for a down payment on a new place. Well, 2 days after we told her she could move in, she lost her job. Sorry. So instead of being here occasionally, she's going to be here 24/7, and she has been ever since. It took her over a month to finally get a new job, which she's supposed to start on Monday. In the time she's been here, she's done the dishes maybe 3 times. Pause. Crazy. She leaves dishes in the sink for me, helps herself to our food, and complains about the little things around the house. She's also had issues with alcohol in the past, and I've noticed she's been drinking again. Time to go to an AA meeting, my friend. When she first moved in, I felt bad because she didn't have food or money. But now that she somehow has money for alcohol, I'm starting to regret being so generous. We told her she could help herself to food, but I'm starting to wish we hadn't said that because last night I went to make shrimp pasta and I realized she'd eaten all the shrimp. It sounds small, but it was such a letdown after a long day. The other night The other night we'd been all let's try this again. The other night we'd been gone all day and I just wanted to come home, relax, and watch our show. But she was planted right in the middle of the couch watching her own show. It's like we don't even have our own space anymore. I've told my husband that now that she's working again, he could ask her what kind of timeline she has for moving out. But his response is always, I don't know how to say that without sounding rude, like we don't want her here. I care about her. I really do, but I'm starting to just go crazy. I just want my home back, my space back, my peace back. Okay, so before we get into the update, first and foremost, she could at least be helping with the baby, right? And doing the dishes. I fear that's common courtesy. Back to the entitled people of it all is, I'm sorry, like, if you're staying here rent free, we got to pick up around the house. We got to pull our weight. Call me crazy, but so that would have been first and foremost. I respect OP for being polite, but at the end of the day, like, if that had, she had said, she's been with them for over a month at this point. The second she started leaving dishes in the sink for you to clean up, it should have been a conversation right then and there. It should have just been like, hey, so remember how you're living here rent free and we were very nice and wanted to extend our home to you and, don't make you pay rent or anything like that. I'm going to need you to clean the dishes. Okay. Thanks. My God. Yeah. Oy. So before we get into the update, the top comment here is not the asshole, but you have a husband problem, not a mother-in-law problem. Mom, you need to contribute to the groceries and utilities. Mom, let OP and the baby have the couch. Mom, you need to do your dishes and clean up any spills, etc. And then another commenter says, and the most important one, Mom, will you move out to your own apartment in 4 weeks? Or no, Mom, you will move out into your own apartment in 4 weeks. Right. And then another commenter says, yep, it's mom, it's time for you to leave. Make sure you have made other arrangements by December 1st. If you need help moving your stuff out, I'm free the weekend before. Right. I agree. Definitely. I mean, at the bare minimum, we should have just asked to, pull our weight around the house. But I agree with the go on. Okay. So, update. Things have gotten even more confusing, and honestly, it's making me feel even more overwhelmed. My mother-in-law was supposed to start her new job on Monday. Then she said it was actually Tuesday, then Wednesday, and now she's saying orientation isn't until Thursday. On top of that, she told us she can't find her social security card or birth certificate, which she needs to have to start working. Girl, you're a grown woman. I'm sorry, but anyways. Today she even said she thinks she might have thrown them away. So now she can't start the job until she replaces those documents, which can take weeks. Girl, she doesn't have a job. This is stressing me out because the pattern keeps repeating every time there's supposed to be progress. The story shifts and something new pops up that delays things even more. It's not hard to feel like she's settling in, doggies. I don't know if you heard that, but those are chihuahuas. Um, let's see. It's hard not to feel like she's settling in and not in any kind of hurry to move out. Anyway, my husband said, well, I don't want you living here if you don't have a job. Right. That's when she said she could stay at his sister's place, parentheses, her daughter's, if she can't start tomorrow. To make it more confusing, she is also telling me about this expensive Gucci purse she has in storage that she doesn't even like, air quotes. When my husband suggested she sell it to put toward a deposit on a new place, she had a bunch of excuses. So it feels like she has options but isn't using them. It's so hard when you want to help someone, but they just don't want to help themselves. My husband keeps telling me I'm being too harsh and that I just don't understand because I don't have the same kind of relationship with my mom that he has with his. He says his mother has always been there for him, so he feels obligated to be there for her now. But I've tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. For the last 2 months, so 2 months now, by the way, crazy. I've gone back and forth with myself, making excuses for her, trying to be understanding, trying to sympathize, but at what cost? My mental health, my peace in my own home? Yeah, no. Mommy Dearest has to go. She can go ahead and stay with the sister. You are, so mind you, we are at this point with this update 2 months postpartum. Huh? I don't even think you're fully healed at that point, no? Also, if she is drinking again, that's a whole side thing that we gotta deal with. That is something that we have to deal and, come together with the family, the husband, the sister, you, whatever other relatives. I don't know where the father is of the husband, but maybe get them involved. I'm not entirely sure the family dynamic here, but that seems to be that seems to be a little bit of the root of the problem as well. And I agree, like, it is hard to help somebody who doesn't really want to help themselves. And so in that case, you kind of have to show them a little bit of tough love. But the taking advantage of you and your home, invading your space, not respecting your space, or pulling their weight is something that I personally would not to facilitate and slash or co-sign on. And I agree with that first commenter that says, like, you don't have a mother-in-law problem, you have a husband problem. I agree. Not being able to set healthy boundaries is a red flag. And yeah, they may have, a deeper, more complicated relationship, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good your relationship is with somebody. If they're not respecting your boundaries, how really good is that relationship at its core? I'm just saying. So mommy's got to go. Bye. Sell that Gucci bag, queen. You don't need it. You can buy it back. On to the next one. So this is coming from r/Am I the asshole? And it is titled, Would I be the asshole for refusing to bring $100 minimum to Thanksgiving? Right out of the gate, probably not, because times are tough, the economy blows, everything sucks. Thanksgiving is fun, but I made Teeny's from TikTok. I made her mac and cheese the other day. First off, fire. Make it if you haven't had it. Absolutely gas, right? The whole thing cost me less than $25, and that was buying like the fancy cheese from Publix, because we all know Publix is expensive too. So I was being a little bit bougie that day, but I think the whole thing cost me less than $25 to make, and that thing made a whole friggin' pan. Like, I'm talking like a baking, like a sheet cake type pan. Made a whole thing, and it fed my family, my brother's girlfriend, and my partner. So 6 people, right? So mind you, but yeah. So I sincerely doubt that spending $100. Girl, celery is like $1.50. How much celery do you want? Right. Okay, so let's just jump into it. My family and I celebrate Thanksgiving every year with my siblings, parents, and their kids. Roughly 20 to 25 people, including kids. Okay, so a little bit more people. Then we add more pasta to the mix. I don't know. Anyways, my family is only two people with one 6-month-old baby. In the group chat, it was decided that my nephew could cook meat since he bought a grill. He also told us that we could bring the sides. He chose to spend $300 on meat. Could you buy a whole cow? I messaged in the family group chat that we would bring mashed potatoes. My sister responded that every, air quotes, family has to bring $100 worth of food minimum to help my nephew pay for the meat. I'm not totally against the idea of bringing that much food, just the way it was presented and the fact that it wasn't agreed to beforehand makes me upset. Yeah, that's crazy. The following day in the group chat, my sister said, option 1, bring food enough for everyone, not just yourself. Option 2, help Thomas pay for the meat, $100 a family. Option 3, help dad pay the water bill, $200 per family. Choose wisely. Girl, what does paying the water bill have to do with Thanksgiving? Walk me through that, because this isn't your house. I don't live there. I don't have to contribute to bills. Unless you need it, of course, then that's a different conversation, i.e. that last story. However, I don't live there. Why am I paying for your bills? Mind you, how much is your water bill? These are the questions that I have. So OP finishes with, upset. I responded with option 4, don't show up. Period. Right. Am I being an asshole if I don't show up at all in protest to this $100 minimum rule? No, you are not the asshole. That's crazy. Why am I paying your bills? Thomas chose to spend $300 on meat. What kind of meat did he buy? I mean, I know meat's expensive, that's for certainly, but it's Thanksgiving, so turkeys are like $8. Did you buy 20 different turkeys? Did we buy, I don't know, the whole cow? Like, what did we spend $300 on meat for? Unless you got like one singular like Wagyu steak shipped directly from Japan and kissed by, I don't know, whatever the government is in Japan, their leader, kissed by him himself and kissed by Deku. I don't know. I was trying to think of like an anime name, Itadori. Kissed by Itadori himself. Why is it $300? I know 20 to 25 people is also a lot, but like I said, turkeys are like $8. And then I can also attest that a fully cooked turkey is, for a big one, is like $76, which is crazy, by the way, but it's fully cooked, right? Even if you bought 3 of those for 20 to 25 people, he said he has a grill. So what kind of meats did we buy for 300 buckaroons? Whatever. Top comment is, not the asshole. This is a potluck, not a charity dinner. If your nephew couldn't afford to buy the meat, he shouldn't have brought it. Nor should he have offered, by the way. I guess he bought a grill. Grills aren't that cheap, by the way. So if you had enough money to buy the grill and then you had $300 to blow on some meat. What? Like, I'm sorry. Like, 20 to 25 people, like, is a lot of people, right? But, like, how much food are we really eating? You know, let's keep that in mind. Okay, so another comment says, or it should have been discussed ahead of time so options could have been given. The people wanted the expensive stuff to donate that, or could donate that. So, okay, so if like, yeah, so I see what they're saying. They're like, hey, like we want this fancy brisket that's like aged and all this kind of stuff. I'm willing to put forth X amount of money towards it because I really want this for, our family for Thanksgiving. That's fine. Love it. But were just like, yeah, I'm gonna blow $300. And then you're gonna pay me back, or you're gonna pay for my water bill. Right. Or another commenter says like, hey all, I'm willing to cook all the meat if people help out with the costs. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I don't know. Um, so we have an update here, and I read it before I said it, and now I'm mad, and I'm gonna crash out. So update. I'm a teacher, and she posted a picture of my salary she found online to shame me in the group chat. Definitely not going now. This is your sister that said that? Your sister is making fun of you in your own group chat. Girl, that is not a sister. That is the devil. That is an enemy. That is giving, I don't even know, spawn of Satan, bully, loser. Your sister's a loser, and we love you for being a teacher. Teachers are very, very, very undervalued and underpaid, and we love and appreciate you for what you do. I know kids nowadays are not easy to deal with, so I commend you, and I send many love and positivity and light towards your way because love you. Thank you for educating our country and our future generation. Your sister, on the other hand, can die in a hole. Yeah, no. Die in a hot hole, preferably 78 layers below the earth. Yeah. If possible, lower. I don't know how low it goes, but let's shoot for the lowest it'll go. Let's really manifest that. Yeah, dude, the sister can eat shit and die. That's crazy. And sorry, we're not paying daddy's water bill. And also, you're an a-hole. So, OP, you're not the a-hole. Your sister is an a-hole, and your family's weird. And most importantly, your sister's a loser. And I guess I hope they enjoy their $300 of meat. But they're definitely, with all that meat, they're gonna get the meat shits and the meat sweats. So, that'll be your comeuppance, I fear. Because that's wild, dude. I need to come back to center, and I need to do calming breaths. I need to practice peace and love and light in my heart and soul because that sister don't piss me off, and we can take this outside real quick. I'm gonna let it go and move on to this next story. Okay, amazing. So this one is also from Am I the Asshole? Titled, Am I the Asshole for not giving my coworker a ride after she kept assuming I would? Off the jump, don't know. If she's assuming, then no, you're not the asshole. Entitled, but let's hear what you have to say. So, I, 28 female, work in an office about 20 minutes from my apartment. I'm pretty quiet at work, stay in my lane, finish my tasks, and go home. A few months ago, a new coworker, Sarah, 31 female, started, and we got along fine. Nothing deep, just normal work friendliness. One day it was raining really hard, and as I was packing up to leave, she asked if I could drop her off at a bus stop a few minutes away. It was on my route, so I said sure, no big deal. The next day, she comes up to my desk at 4:55 p.m. with her bag and goes, "Ready to go?" I was confused and said, "Oh, sorry, I'm staying late today." She gave me a weird look but said okay and left. From that day on, she started acting like I was her personal ride. She'd wait by the door at the end of the day. She'd text me, "Leaving now?" Even though I never told her I'd drive her regularly. When I didn't offer, she'd get a little cold with me the next morning. Last Thursday, she messaged me at 4:40 saying, "Can you take me to the mall after work?" The mall is 25 minutes in the opposite direction of my home. Girl, you gonna throw for gas? Are you gonna pay my dad's water bill? By the way. The mall is 25 minutes in the opposite direction of my home. I told her, "Sorry, that's too far out of my way." She replied with, "Wow, period, okay, period." Oh, my anger issues could never. Okay. The next day, she barely spoke to me and acted like I betrayed her. Yep. Yes, I did. I did betray you. Another coworker even asked me what happened because apparently Sarah told people I promised to help her out and then backed out. I never promised anything. I gave her one ride during a storm and I was just trying to be nice. I don't mind helping occasionally, but I don't want it to be assumed or expected, especially when it's inconvenient and she never offers gas money or anything. Hey, Sarah, you're crazy. My sister says I was too nice in the beginning and that people like that will always push boundaries. Another friend says maybe I should have just driven her to avoid drama. No, I don't feel like I did anything wrong, but the tension at work is awkward now. Am I the asshole for telling my coworker I couldn't keep giving her rides? No, no, because you didn't promise her that. You just gave her a ride when it was raining. You were being, God's bravest soldier and angel. You were just being a nice lady. And then this, how old is she again? Let's see. 31-year-old woman named Sarah just decided that you were her personal Uber. That's crazy style. I would never make any assumptions. And then also, if anyone offers to, here's a good story for you. Me and two of my girlfriends went to Busch Gardens together, and that's about like an hour and a half away, roughly. And one of us paid for the meal thing. You get like this meal pass there. Another one of us paid for coffee, and another one paid for gas and drove. I feel like that was pretty evenly split amongst the three of us. And then also, of course, after I was like, hey, if you want any extra gas money or anything like that, please let me know. I'm happy to pay my part. Please let me pay you in some capacity just because of your kindness and your offering to transport us to have a beautiful, wonderful day together as friends in this life. And that's how it should be. Sarah, on the other hand, just thinks everybody is an Uber driver and apparently is getting one freaking star because they refuse to drive you to the mall for free. Girl, if you can go to the mall and spend some money, you can spend money on an Uber to go to work or to go home, or even better yet, save your money on the Uber and the mall trip and buy a car. Sorry, but cars are expensive, so I know not everybody can afford that because it also comes with like insurance and license and all that kind of stuff. So that's not always the most fiscally responsible, depending on your personal situation. In general, though, I fear we shouldn't be spending our money at the mall. I fear we should be spending our money on Ubers, or better yet, gas money. Can we even buy her a coffee like in the morning? Like, hey, let me grab you a Starbucks like on the way. Let's go get hey, we're on the way home. Why don't you pull into this McDonald's? Dinner's on me. Love you, girl, right? Because that's all you can afford, right? Let me offer to buy you McDonald's. But although at that point you probably could still throw some gas money, but whatever. And just like not even like talking to her about your situation or explaining it at all, and then spreading a rumor around the office saying that like you backed out. Backed out of what? This wasn't a signed contract. I'm sorry. Okay. So, sorry, I'm getting too peeved at these Reddit stories. I just can't stand entitled people, dude. They make me so mad. Oh my God. Okay. So top comment is, this will sound like an overreaction, but I promise you it's not. Tell your manager what's happening and that you're considering going to HR because she started telling people a false account of what happened and you don't want a hostile workplace. Now, hopefully your immediate manager will handle the situation themselves, but if they don't, then you've taken the appropriate steps before actually going to HR. I agree. As a manager lady myself, I agree 1,000%, 1,000,000,000%. Anyway, so they go on to say, and then if she escalates her behavior after reporting to your manager, then it's all the more reason to take it to HR. It seems small now, but if you allow her to build a false narrative about you when she's going to continue to do, if you allow her to build a false narrative about you now, then she's going to continue to do it in the future. So it needs to be nipped in the bud before it's allowed to get to that point. It's not a small matter when people start attacking your character at work directly to your coworkers. Yeah. Immediate edit. Definitely not the asshole. She was definitely trying to force you into being her ride by trying to make you feel embarrassed about the whole thing. Another commenter says, came to say this: protect yourself and your job. Do not hesitate to talk to your manager or HR. Ooh, yes. In this other comment, third one down, says email your manager with HRCC'd. Both need to have a complaint documented before this coworker calls is a real problem. Right. I agree. And on the tail of this, I wouldn't normally, a lot of people want to handle this like one-on-one, like with the person that's directly affecting them. No, just go ahead and go directly to your manager. We'll have like, you should have a connect with your manager and figure out exactly what's going on and like talk to them, because the last thing you want to do is talk to that person one-on-one and then allow that person to then spin that narrative, run it around the block, throw it through a dishwasher, then put it through the friggin' garbage disposal and spew out their bullshit that they do, because clearly they're already doing that with the just car ride situation alone. So imagine what's going to happen if you try to like connect with her and try to resolve the issue one-on-one. It's not going to go well. So get your manager involved. The manager will have it documented. You will have a witness for this, and you can keep it pushing. Probably what will happen with that is like managers should and would get HR involved regardless, because that's usually the next step. But at least you have like another like third party involved in this, and at least we won't get too in the weeds of he said, she said, and then this Sarah girl isn't going to be able to run her fat mouth around town and causing ruckus amongst the cubicles, because that won't be tolerated ever. And also, Sarah, got my eye on you. Consider this your verbal warning. Yep. Let's see if there's any updates from OP. No updates from OP. Nope. Yeah. Bummer. I want to hear more from her. But anyways, wish you the best, girl. Go to HR. We'll go to your manager, or also loop in HR. I like the idea of emailing manager and CCing HR and asking for a one-on-one connect, and seeing what goes from there, because do not do this with just Miss Sarah, because Sarah's about to piss me off. That's for sure. So this next one is a little bit crazy. I have got like 2 or 3 more for you because I love you so much, and I'm going to read a few more. But this one, trigger warning, caca. Yep, you heard it right. Poo poo. Trigger warning. Okay. If you don't like it, we all do it, but trigger warning for you if you don't love to hear about it. This is your warning. All right. So this is coming from r/am I the asshole. Am I the asshole? I want to ask my roommate to move out because of his kid. Maybe. So, to start off, I, 33 male, have not been working this year due to illness, and my partner, 40 female, and roommate, 44 male, have really stepped up and gotten things paid for. He's a nice guy, and we've lived together for 3 years, and a part of this arrangement is that his kid is allowed to stay with us sometimes. Okay, great. All well and good, but his kid likes to play with poop. Right. It has been 3 years of finding small spots and sometimes larger spots of shit around my bathroom. We have all had talks about it and even keep wipes for them just to clean the bathroom, but it's an ongoing situation. And now that his kid is also using an electric toothbrush. Oh, so also his kid is also using an electric toothbrush. The mess is ridiculous. So we're taking it and just like going like, okay, right. I want to ask them to move out because I feel like that put unnecessary burden on his family and mine. Oh, okay. Move out, but I feel like that would put an unnecessary burden on his family and mine. But I can't keep living with poop surprises. Any thoughts would be great because I feel like I've asked too many times. Oh, so you've asked. We've addressed the shitty elephant in the room. Right. Okay. Update. I have worked since I was 14, days, nights, weekends, and holidays, and as recently, oh my God, I can't talk. Days, nights, weekends, and holidays, and recently as a para with special needs kids. But this year I came down with something incurable, so no, I cannot just make money. Yes, his kid is special needs, but he's also a teenager who is capable of more than his parents put on him. What I'm told by his dad is that when he goes back to his mom's, she does not make him do anything. He cleans up for him. Anytime I've asked him to clean up, he does it hastily and without complaint. It's a small 10 by 10 room, and I'm just sick of finding poop on my shower head, light switches, and other places. That is a biohazard, my friends. That is pink eye galore, conjunctivitis, just insanitary. 10 by 10 room is crazy. To have actual feces on the light switches would send me into psychosis. If I went to turn off the light and there was actual human waste on the light switch and I touched it with my hands, girl, if it got under my nails, yeah, no, it would be nuclear. um that's crazy. That's crazy. For me, um here's the piece, is if you can afford, so you're not working, which is fine. You seem to have some kind of illness or ailment that prevents you from working in that capacity, and so it seems like your wife or partner and your roommate have been picking up the slack. Oh no, I've had the wrong story up this whole time. I'm so sorry. Um, let's see. Before I get too far, hold on, hold on. Okay, there you go. Now you can read it right there. I had the wrong story up. Sorry. Anyways, you seem to be kind of in a shitty situation. That was so funny. Yeah. So, in regards to just being able to bring in any income, and we're kind of relying on your partner and roommate to provide financially for the group. So I would definitely put some boundaries up. I don't think you're a little bit of the asshole for like wanting to just like straight up move out. Given like, yes, you've asked a bunch of times. However, I don't think like we should jump immediately to moving out, like right out of the gate. Yes, I would also be sick of finding poop on my shower head, because imagine trying to wash your hair, dirty hair, it's hair wash day, it's an everything shower, and then getting literal shit on your head. I would be hospitalized, I fear. You would have to Baker Act me, I think. But, you know, you have to kind of set up some boundaries or like ultimatums. So for me, I would be like, hey, like this child is, he seems to be like a teenager, from what I've learned. Hey, so we need to talk to a specialist, a doctor, an occupational therapist, anybody who deals with things like this. We need to get this child evaluated and figure out the root of the problem and get this kid some help. And also, like, certain occupational therapists will also work with the parents in order to help kind of correct behaviors in that capacity. So you definitely need to have like a heart to heart with this person and be like, hey, so putting shit on the light switches is not normal. Okay. Love you, mean it. But they're putting feces inside of the shower head. And we all have pink eye, double pink eye. So we need to speak to a specialist in this capacity, in this regard specifically, because this is not normal. And if, and I would love for you to do that ASAP or sooner, because I feel like what we have here, what's going on, I really, really appreciate you, like coming in clutch with paying for things financially. I know I'm not, I'm a little bit incapacitated at the moment, so I really appreciate you doing this, and I don't want you to go because, I really like what we have going on. Everything's been great, but the poopy kid has gotta get sorted, right? Because there's poop particles everywhere. Yeah, and so we need to start there. Get in touch with your ex-wife or mother of the child, let's get this going. You have some time here, OP, that you've been able to write on Reddit. So I assume you have a couple of minutes to kind of research some specialists in the area that would be able to help you in this regard. And I know they're not cheap too. Hopefully they have insurance and Medicaid or something like that to kind of find, you know, a professional to help you with this. But I think that we should start there and then just kind of give like, hey, this is my boundary. Okay. Like, this is a health hazard, you know, like I know I don't really have, you know, room to stand on because I don't be paying for stuff. However, it's a health hazard and there shouldn't be shit everywhere. Okay. And like, you also like shouldn't have to be cleaning up human feces on a regular basis. It's just not normal. So let's go ahead and get this sorted with a professional. And if we can't, then we're going to have to find other living arrangements. I'm sorry, you know. And I think that's a good place to start. But yeah. Let's see. So they were voted the asshole, which is interesting. So let's see what the top comment says. Well, the top two comments said, you need to have a chat with him about cleaning up after his child. If the child is known to have issues with poop, he should be going in the bathroom after every visit and expecting cleaning. No. I mean, like, yes, for certainly. But I think we have other issues at hand, and I think we should kind of seek professional help first. So the second comment says, info, have y'all thought about moving out? Let me quote you. I want to ask them to move out, but I feel like that'd put unnecessary burden on his family and mine. At that point, why not just fix the problem and move out yourselves? Adding, whose house is it? Are you sharing the lease? We're lacking some info here. And then edit. You said another comment that you're the one leasing and he's not tied to it. You also said that this has been going on for 3 years. Why are you allowing this to continue? No one in their right mind would let this go on for that long. I have a feeling there's a reason you're not telling us the entire story and why you're not putting your friend and his son on your lease. Let's see. Eesh, I think is what that says. Because you don't ESH. Chat, let me know what that means. Because you don't have a backbone to kick him out after 3 years, and for him being a crappy roommate. Yeah, so this other comment here says, not the asshole. These comments are kind of ableist. Yeah. Like you said, you have a medical issue and can't work anymore. So you're just supposed to live with smeared poop in your bathroom because you're not making any money. Crazy. Yeah. Okay. So here, furthermore, poop is considered a biohazard. So it's not just kind of messy. It's an actual health hazard. Right. Right. So I think, yeah. Yeah, we gotta, not the asshole, even though you were marked as the asshole. I don't think you are. I think a lot of discussions need to have a lot of discussions need to happen before we move to kicking them out. And I think one of those discussions needs to be with a doctor. Okay. Hey, my friends. I know that was a tough one to think about because for me, I think I would have had to been taken somewhere in an ambulance if that continued. If it happened once, crazy. If it happened twice, happened 3 times, I'm in the loony bin. I'm going crazy. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and move on to our second to last story. It is also from r/am I the asshole, titled, am I the asshole for not making my daughter-in-law coffee and telling her I'm not her barista? No, immediately no, but let's see. Edit, it says, I sent this to my son and daughter-in-law. So let's see. I don't know if there's any updates here, but let's go ahead and jump in. My son and daughter-in-law, Emily, are staying in our home probably for the next month due to water damage in their home. The company is fixing the damage, but the flooring was damaged, so it's not very livable right now. They have only been here less than a week and I'm having an issue. I work nights and I come back around 6:30 a.m. and then go to bed. My husband is usually up and I make him a coffee/breakfast before I turn in. Oh, okay. I see. It's just something I like to do. More quality time before he heads to work. And I asked my son and Emily if they would also like a coffee or breakfast before they go to work. They said no to food, but yes to coffee. That was easy, and I just made 2 extra cups. I asked them to tell me if they want me to change how to make their coffee. I thought they would just tell me use this cream, or if they had a preference on the blend. Emily texted me last night and said she left instructions for the coffee. This morning, I came home to a very detailed instructions on how to make a complex coffee. It was like a Starbucks drink. She wanted foamed milk on top, different syrups, a specific coffee bean, ground fresh, mind you, and a different brewing method. We have a drip coffee machine. Most of the stuff was on the counter. I decided I wasn't going to do that and just made normal coffee. Emily wasn't happy, and we got into an argument before she went to work. I basically told her I'm not a Starbucks barista and I'm not going to do all that. She told me I shouldn't have offered in the first place if I wouldn't make her coffee to her liking. We left on a sour note. I've been getting texts from my son about not being hospitable, so I've been having trouble sleeping at the moment. Should I just make the coffee? No. I think your reaction was a little bit strong. However, that is also a little bit rude. I think Emily is pretty entitled, thinking that you would just. So, mind you, they're staying in your house that you pay for. And although they had a water damage problem, that happens. Life sucks. That's really tough stuff. But having you do a whole detailed Nespresso TikTok ass coffee recipe is kind of crazy when you are being allowed into a home out of the kindness of their hearts while yours is being fixed or renovated in some capacity. Is crazy. They could have easily sent you to a hotel where the hotel would either have a Starbucks or a drip coffee machine. And yeah, that's crazy. So I think the entitlement is there. And then also Emily being mad, wasn't happy. We just got into an argument before she went to work. Emily, I think you're also entitled, and I think you're kind of rude. However, I think OP, I think it's a little bit, hear me out, a little bit of a strong reaction. I think you could have just been like, hey, so sorry, I just can't do all that. I just got home from work, and I was trying to do something kind for both my husband and also you guys, but I really don't have the time or space to be making you this whole specific coffee. So if you'd like a just regular schmegular cup of joe, I'm happy to do that for you, but this is a little complicated for me, so maybe I'll leave that to you if you want a super fancy one. And let's see. So, no, you're not the asshole, kind of. I think you're slightly sassy, but I don't think you're in the wrong here, because I think the entitlement of that all, and then leaving specific instructions you are her personal maid or lady in waiting is crazy. I don't love that. And also you're letting them say they're further freezy. So no, you shouldn't be, coffee master, baristaing it up. Especially after you've just worked the night shift, because girl, it's time to go to bed. Right. So, yeah, that's insane. So top comment here says, if your son's doubling down like that, it sounds like it's time for he and his entitled to wife to seek new accommodations. See, that's exactly right. I really think they need to go to a hotel that they can pay for and realize how lucky they were to have such kind in-laws who allow them to stay in their home for free, right? And then maybe the hotel, you could order some room service and they can make your coffee to their liking, because you're paying for a service, you're paying for a hotel, to meet your accommodations, right? You're not paying for anything. So accommodations aren't going to be offered to you if you're not paying dash money. Okay. Let's see. So the next comment says, yep, they can have fun dealing with their insurance and get put into a hotel room if OP wants to do this. From my experience, it sucks so much. So OP, you were really doing them a favor. Okay. Let's see. And we do have a couple of comments from OP. She says, I don't believe this is a kick out offense. I already sent them the post, so I will not kick them out. Maybe if the situation gets worse. Worse. I don't know. I said worst. Crazy person. So we will have a conversation when everyone is back from work. I need to go to sleep, so thanks for everyone that replied. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so I like this other comment because OP does reply to this too, and I'm just gonna read it. The commenter says, frankly, if you're being kind enough to put them up in your house, both of them should be making the coffee. You're hosts, not staff. And OP says, for some reason, this doesn't make much sense because I need to go to bed. Also, much more of an energy drink person for night shifts. I don't mind making people coffee when I get back, but this request is just too much. I think and then another person commented and says, I think their point is they should be accommodating you, not you accommodating them. You are doing them a huge favor by letting them stay with you. So, yeah, and then people start to get kind of mean in the comments, so I'm just gonna not read those. But yeah, girl, no, you're not a barista. If they want to pay to stay somewhere and pay for those types of accommodations, they are more than welcome to. But this is free, and also I just got off work, so no, I'm not going to be making you a 5-step coffee routine that you saw off of TikTok. I won't be doing that. But thanks though. Oy, yikes. Well, we had a lot of entitled people. We had a lot of annoying poop related things, and a lot of people are just feeling like they're owed something they are not. So I think that's enough for today, because otherwise I think I'm going to send myself into a full frenzy of screaming into this damn microphone and ruining y'all's ears and slash or audio systems in your car. So to avoid that, we are going to wrap it up. But thank you so much for watching. This is my first video, and I'm really excited to be doing this. If you liked this video, please give it a like. If you like me, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I think I love reading when people also get like just as mad as I am, or if you have an alternate opinion, I would also love to hear it, because I'm open to changing my mind and I'm open to constructive criticism. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and let me know what theme I should do for the next video. There's like wedding drama, which I also love. As somebody who's had a wedding myself, I think it's fun to put in my 2 cents, because I had a little bit of a more chill wedding, or an unconventional wedding in a way. So I think those are kind of fun. I also like wholesome stories. I like to cry on the internet. So I think that'll be rad. And I think that's it. But thank you guys so much. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.